the Justin Baldoni war with Blake Lively, which seems to me, initially I felt quite sorry for Blake Lively, then I've been reading all the messages between them all, and which he's been putting out, obviously, and it just seems like a pair of absolute weapons-grade narcissists, now spray gunning each other with as much dirt as they can possibly do.
Wrested his movie away from him and decided to try to hurt him with petty, made-up, out-of-context complaints.
It's insane. What are you talking about? She genuinely is not aware of how insane she sounds.
Stylist, I'm the costume designer on Gossip Girl, but anyone who works with me, I love it. It's like drinking through a fire hose. You're like, wow, I come in and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. But it's just because I really, I find that fashion is storytelling. It's a way to message so much more than you can with words sometimes. It's a silent way to message things. So the way that I come into a character is always through the fashion and through the costumes. So
saw in another interview, you said that Ryan, actually, your husband Ryan Reynolds, wrote part of that rooftop scene. Is that true?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I would have to compare it to the original one, but that's 90-something, 99% his. Yeah, he just added, I mean, Chrissy Hall wrote an incredible screenplay. It was, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this film. But also, there are natural tweaks and modifications that come in when the actor is hired and you're trying to infuse your own personality and your own authenticity. And it's like, women are people of multitudes. And, I think that it was important to me that it didn't just feel like someone's interpretation of like female gaze. Like it really was, this is what we like, this is what we listen to, this is what makes us feel these vibes. And we had an incredible music supervisor, Season Kent, and one of our editors, Shane Reed, who, fun fact, he was my editor on Taylor's music video that I directed. And I was obsessed with him. And I was like, this guy is amazing. And he never edited a movie before. He just finished Deadpool and Wolverine, and he came on and helped us with this one. And he has incredible taste in music. And we share the same composer as well from Deadpool and Wolverine. So there's a lot of sharing.
Yeah, I mean, as for the drama between them, like, if what he's alleging is true, she sounds like an absolute nightmare. I mean, I get the impression that it's like a prima donna that's come in, tried to take over and hijack the movie, and when she didn't get her way, she brought her much richer, more successful and powerful husband in to lay down the law. And the result was a disjointed production that had all kinds of problems behind the scenes, and Baldoni, by the sounds of things, got completely shafted in this one. So if all of this is true, he's 100% justified in suing her.
Control, that's selfishness, that's entitlement. This woman is a monster.
I don't understand how they do not understand why we do not like them.
Weird. Okay, weird. Weird.
Look, I went through the 160-page timeline and evidence document that Justin published on his website in detail, as well as what he presented to the court, because it was fascinating.
It was fascinating.
I mean, if even only half of what he's saying is true, Blake Lively is a complete nightmare.
Blake Lively is caught in old footage, revealing that, yes, her secret plan is to always take control of the movies and lie to the directors.
Show up on a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say, but I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
You're basically saying you're a liar. You misrepresent who you are. Maybe that has something to do with why you're now being sued for promissory fraud.
Team Blake Lively may think they have the upper hand. Sources say she has no idea what's coming regarding her battle with Justin Baldoni.
Would dish it all out in public to this extent. I mean, she began with, I think, the New York Times, very well orchestrated, obviously, onslaught against him. And I read all that and thought, wow, poor Blake Lively. I've got to say, I'm not really thinking that now. The more I read about this, the more I think stain on all your gruesome houses. The publicists involved, the actors involved, everybody involved seems to be absolutely horrible.
Because I don't trust you, Blake. I do not trust you.
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. Now let's set the stage. You're scrolling through your social feed in a comfy chair, maybe snacking on something that's both delicious and questionably healthy, when, bam, your eyes land on Blake Lively. She's standing on a red carpet, flashing that fake Hollywood smile. She looks every bit the warm, angelic star we've used to adore. But here's the curveball. A new wave of rumors claims she might have been orchestrating one of the most cunning Hollywood power plays of our time. Yes, the same Blake Lively who bakes cupcakes and trades witty banter with Ryan Reynolds on social media might also be the self-appointed queen on a secret Hollywood chessboard, if you believe the whispers.
What it sounds like is that she's not interested in being a part of a team. She just wants to own it all. And that's fine. If that is your method of working, then do that. But you have to create your own projects. You have to put yourself in that position that you are in charge, not take it from somebody else.
These whispers come courtesy of Piers Morgan's so-called expose, which insists Miss Lively has manipulated her way to stardom through a combination of cozy dinners, sly alliances, and impeccably timed news drops. The idea is that she's not only armed with a stunning smile, but also with a set of behind-the-scenes tactics that would make a top-tier spy do a double take. So if you're thinking, wait, are we talking about the same cheerful actress who once taught us all how to rock knee-high boots on the Upper East Side? Then trust me, this is just the beginning. Now, before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe because let's face it, I'm nothing without your support. Now back to the tea. Before she was cooking up Instagram jokes and homemade treats, Blake Lively first tiptoed into our hearts as a bright-eyed teen in the sisterhood of the traveling pants. She played Bridget, the bubbly athlete who seemed to exude sunshine from every pore. And for many viewers, her natural glow made them wonder if maybe she existed in a world where dirty laundry doesn't exist and messy hair is a myth. Then came Gossip Girl, the show that flung her to international fame, packaging her as the stylish, carefree Serena van der Woodsen, practically a life-size fashion doll who could effortlessly charm the entire planet. The media embraced her so quickly that it felt like the rest of Hollywood had collectively raised a white flag. She was soon hailed as the it girl, with seemingly no dark side, just a friendly, unassuming star who'd stroll onto morning shows with a plate of cookies. But if the rumors are to be believed, a lot of that flawless image was the product of calculated alliances. Those in the know claim she figured out how to forge connections from day one, whether it meant flattering a casting director by recalling their obscure indie film or introducing producers to her grandmother's secret pie recipe. Nobody's immune to charm like that, especially if it comes with a slice of homemade dessert.
Basically saying you're a liar, you misrepresent who you are.
So she's a serial fraudster. That's called fraud.
Admitting that you go in there and you're like, yeah, I'd like to be an actor, and then you take over everything.
I don't think she even realizes what she's admitting. Sometimes they'd let me and sometimes they wouldn't. And but then she goes further and says, I would just lie to them in the audition process and make them...
Don't get me wrong, it's not illegal, yet, to be a sweetheart who also knows how to network. But the speculation is that Blake didn't merely rely on good manners. She was actively steering her own hype train, dropping the occasional compliment in just the right ear, or volunteering for that extra press junket that other actors might skip. People describe her as the friendly face you can't say no to, which might be the single most powerful superpower in Hollywood, better than invisibility and definitely more profitable than web-slinging. We can't talk about Blake Lively without touching on Gossip Girl, the show that made headbands cool and convinced millions they wanted to hang out on the steps of the Met, even though, let's be honest, that can get uncomfortable fast. It started off as an ensemble, but if the rumors hold any water, it gradually morphed into Serena's world, with everyone else just living in it. Allegedly, Blake formed close ties with the creative higher-ups, ensuring her character nabbed the most compelling love triangles, the juiciest emotional arcs, and the best lighting angles. Because if we're talking sabotage, you definitely want top-tier lighting.
Exactly. I think it's so telling how confident she is to just say, I have no qualms lying to the director, taking control of their movie, pulling the rug from them, like, oh my God. Well, yeah, that's because that's what you did. Knowingly, you knowingly admit that's what you do. They want an actress, they hire an actress, they pay you to be an actress. That's your job. But you do exactly what Justin's accusing you of. Blake hires Taylor Swift's music video editors to do her version while she's filming in Italy for something. Blake has a friends and family screening to get thoughts with a lot of A-listers, Ben Affleck, Bradley Cooper, I think, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone was like, huh? This movie makes no effing sense. Blake realizes she needs to hire an experienced film editor to fix it. Blake uses a Taylor Swift song in the movie that the studio loves having in there. I do believe that. And she was absolutely using that song as a way to get control. We're learning that from Justin's suit, I think, as well.
Was it a network decision based on ratings, or Blake's personal attempt to cement her place as the show's shining sun around which all other planets revolved? We may never have absolute clarity. After all, it could simply be that fans responded best to her, so producers gave them what they wanted. But it's also easy to imagine, in a city ruled by charm and cunning, that a so-called actress with an eye for opportunity might push the boundaries of collaboration a bit. And while you can't blame her for wanting the spotlight, it does raise eyebrows about how far she'd go to keep it.
I defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Baloni-Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history. Everything he says is self-flagellating over the fact that he's a man, but he's, to me, sort of the embodiment of what happens when you totally emasculate a man. And then she continued, she took that stiletto and stuck it in his heart when he was down there self-flagellating, being so sorry for anything having to do with his testosterone. And so that's what happens to you, right? You run into somebody who seems like a witch who will take advantage of you and hurt you.
Speaking of behind-the-scenes maneuvering, one recurring rumor paints a rather cinematic scene. Blake Lively hosting intimate dinner parties where champagne flows, gourmet dishes get served, and Hollywood bigwigs compare notes on their new favorite scripts. Nothing out of the ordinary there. This is Hollywood, after all. But conspiracy enthusiasts argue these soirees are less about sharing creme brulee recipes and more about forging alliances that keep her firmly in the driver's seat. Picture Blake gliding from guest to guest, greeting directors, producers, and possibly some well-placed journalists with that trademark smile, peppering them with subtle compliments on their latest projects. By the end of the evening, they're convinced she's a dear friend who just gets them. Then come the gentle nudges. Maybe a certain actress was tough on set, or a particular up-and-comer might not have the right energy for a leading role. Even if it's phrased politely, seeds of doubt can find fertile ground in a hyper-competitive industry. Is this rumor fact or just a product of someone's overactive imagination? Possibly both. Hollywood is a small town disguised as a big city. Everyone knows everyone. Building a robust network is part of the game. And maybe Blake's simply better at it than most. But it does highlight how friendly dinners can double as stealthy career strategy sessions if you're charismatic enough to pull it off without raising suspicions. Chalk it up to the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and also what homemade dessert you bring them. Now, let's discuss everyone's favorite comedic superstar, Ryan Reynolds. He's charming, he's witty, and he's beloved across the internet for that offbeat sense of humor and kind smile. Pairing up with him launched the kind of star couple synergy the tabloids dream of. Suddenly, it wasn't just Blake on magazine covers, it was Blake and Ryan, the duo that could do no wrong. They were soon crowned as the reigning comedic sweethearts, with social media banter so adorable you'd swear it was scripted by a team of Hollywood's best writers. Some folks believe that marrying Ryan gave Blake the ultimate PR shield. When the rumor mill churns out a negative story, like accusations that she subtly undermined a co-star's career, bam! Next thing you know, the headlines are all about Ryan cracking dad jokes, or the couple adopting the cutest puppy in the universe. It's as if any hint of negativity gets drowned in a wave of fuzzy, feel-good stories. Critics point out that it's incredibly effective PR. Others say it's just how a normal couple defends each other. But let's be honest, having Deadpool as your partner is basically the media equivalent of wearing medieval armor. You're a lot harder to take down with the entire internet rooting for you two. Of course, maybe they genuinely are the perfect playful pair they seem to be. No scheming necessary. But in an era where public perception counts for everything, you can see how speculation flourishes. Did Blake orchestrate this power couple dynamic as part of her big plan? Or did love simply knock on her door in the form of a charming Canadian? For now, the answer remains firmly in why not both territory. According to Piers Morgan's investigation, Blake isn't just good at controlling her environment. She's got a black belt in media manipulation too. Any whiff of negative headlines, they say, is met with a surge of upbeat updates, a cute family pic on Instagram, a new trailer showcasing her latest film role, or a talk show appearance brimming with well-placed humor. Before you know it, the Blake sabotaging X or Y story is buried under a mountain of wholesomeness and mild self-deprecation. Skeptics will argue that pretty much every celebrity does this. timing announcements, or posting adorable content to overshadow bad press, maybe Blake just has an exceptionally agile team who can pivot at lightning speed. After all, an actor's image is their currency. If you sense a negative narrative forming, you throw some glitter in the audience's eyes and dazzle them with another story. Strategy or cunning? Probably both. It's a dance as old as Hollywood itself, and rumor has it she's got 2 left feet when it comes to wrongdoing. Amid all these swirling claims, the biggest bombshell might be the alleged existence of a secret blacklist maintained by Blake, a sort of Hollywood no-fly list for any actress who threatens her spotlight. The story goes that if you share a certain resemblance to her or get labeled the next Blake Lively, you might wake up one morning to find your phone suspiciously quiet, your auditions canceled, and your agent suddenly ghosting you, which, in Hollywood, might be considered a moderate-level emergency. Unsurprisingly, until Justin Baldoni, no one stepping forward with hard evidence, this isn't exactly the kind of thing people keep in a file marked top secret, ruining careers. But the speculation is enough to keep the rumor mill spinning. Some out-of-the-spotlight actresses allegedly blame, let's just say a certain actor, for dropping them from projects last minute or whispering a single word. Difficult. To the right ears. If even one of those stories is true, that's enough to prompt a shiver in any aspiring actor hoping to make it big. Could it be an overblown myth, perpetuated by folks who blame Blake for their own stumbles? Absolutely. But because it's Hollywood, the existence of hush-hush lists is tantalizing enough that fans can't help fueling the conversation. After all, who doesn't love a little conspiracy to go with their popcorn? At this point, it's wise to step back and consider whether it's all about Blake Lively or if these allegations are a symptom of a larger Hollywood ecosystem that naturally rewards clever movers and shakers. Let's be real. If any industry was built for covert dinner parties and strategic hobnobbing, it's this one. Actors have entire squads of publicists, stylists, and managers working round the clock to polish their image. Throw in ferocious competition for leading roles and global fame, and you get a setting where cunning, relationship building, and yes, maybe the occasional sabotage flourish like weeds in a neglected garden. So maybe Blake is just the current lightning rod because she's always in the spotlight. Tomorrow, it could be another beloved star who accidentally had someone's scenes cut or quietly suggested a less flattering camera angle for a competitor. Hollywood thrives on drama, on screen and off, and the folks who master the system can thrive just as easily behind the curtains as they do on the red carpet. Here we are at the end of this wild ride, left wondering if our cookie-baking, gown-rocking Blake Lively might be more of a strategist than she lets on. Have we peeled back the glossy veneer to reveal a shrewd mastermind pulling the puppet strings? Or have we merely fallen under the spell of sensational rumors fueled by a media that craves a riveting story? In a place where image is currency, truth can be as flexible as an acrobat in a Cirque du Soleil show. Ultimately, whether you see Blake as a genuine sweetheart who's simply good at playing the Hollywood game or a backstage puppeteer orchestrating cosmic-level sabotage might depend on which tabloids you read, or which grain of salt you prefer to use. One fact remains, Tinseltown is brimming with hidden deals and behind-the-scenes secrets, so it's no shocker we love to speculate. The fun is in the guessing, right? So next time you see Blake lighting up a red carpet or sharing a funny anecdote about her family, pause to consider. Is it all part of a well-oiled PR plan, or just a naturally delightful person being herself? The truth likely lies somewhere in the middle, and honestly, that might be the most entertaining place to be. After all, if Hollywood is one big magic show, it's the illusions that keep us hooked. So what do you think? Is Blake Lively just a charming actress who mastered the Hollywood game, or is she secretly running a behind-the-scenes empire that would make a soap opera villain jealous? Let's keep the conversation going. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's hidden power plays, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another juicy celebrity breakdown. Because in Hollywood, the truth is always stranger than fiction. And trust me, there's always more drama right around the corner. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.